Hey guys, today we're going to talk about something that matters more than most people realize. Picture this. You're standing in your kitchen in the early morning. The house is still, the light outside is soft, and you feel just a little slower than you used to. You reach for your coffee cup, but your mind feels foggy, like it hasn't quite joined you in the morning yet. Have you ever felt like your thoughts take just a bit longer to come together? Like they used to be lightning, and now they're just glow? That feeling isn't your imagination. After 60, your brain changes. Not all at once, and not in ways that should scare you. But things shift. That's okay. It's part of life's rhythm. But just like you stretch a stiff back or rub your knees after getting up from a chair, your mind needs a little nudge in the morning too. And how you start your day can shape how sharp, focused, and even joyful your brain feels hours later. So let's start at the beginning. Your morning. You wake up, maybe a little earlier than you used to. The room is quiet, and for a moment, your brain is too. Before you reach for your phone or let the news spill into your day, try something different. Try stillness. You sit up, place your feet on the floor, and take 3 deep breaths. Not fancy yoga breaths, just deep, slow, human breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Your brain, which spent the night filing away memories and processing emotions, now begins to reboot. Not into stress, but into calm readiness. Now here's the magic. Add structure. You brush your teeth, not just because you have to, but as a signal. You splash cool water on your face and stand tall. You do a short stretch, maybe touch your toes, roll your shoulders. You tell your brain, we're on, we're here, let's go. Your morning habits are like the key to a door, and when you unlock that door with consistency, your brain walks through it more easily. Research has shown that morning routines, especially those that involve movement, mindfulness, or learning, help regulate your circadian rhythm, stabilize mood, and reduce brain fog. Let's say after breakfast, you take a short walk. Just 10 minutes, doesn't matter where, around the block, down the hallway, even in place if that's what you can do. While you walk, don't stare at your phone. Look at the sky, feel the air, smell the trees or the coffee shops, or even the neighbor's laundry. This is sensory stimulation, and your brain drinks it up like a plant in sunlight. You don't need to do puzzles at 6 a.m. to stay sharp. You need consistency, predictability, the kind your brain can depend on to switch from sleep to wakefulness without confusion. When your morning is chaotic, random waking times, no structure, no movement, your brain feels like it's walking through fog. But when it knows what's coming, it clears a path. Then once your body's awake, do one thing that invites the brain to stretch. Read a page of a book. Listen to music that makes you feel something. Say a prayer. Journal for 5 minutes. These aren't chores, they're invitations, and your brain is eager for them. Let's say you read a short poem. You pause and think about a line. That moment of reflection activates parts of your brain that usually stay quiet in daily life. Or maybe you write 3 things you're grateful for. That small act boosts serotonin and gives your brain a touch of resilience for the rest of the day. Now think about coffee. Many people over 60 rely on it, and that's okay, in moderation. But don't just sip it while scrolling headlines. Make it an event. Smell it. Taste it. Feel the cup in your hand. This is called mindfulness, and it's not just a trendy word. It's medicine for your mind. The more you slow down and notice your morning, the more your brain stays present throughout the day. If you're a to-do list person, great, but make sure it's not a stress list. Your brain thrives on purpose, not panic. 1 or 2 goals for the day, clear and doable. Give your mind a destination. Call Margaret. Organize the spice rack. Write 2 pages in that journal. That's enough. Your brain doesn't need big achievements. It needs direction. And don't underestimate the power of light. Open your blinds. Sit near a window. Let the sun hit your face. Morning light tells your body clock it's time to start. And when your body clock is happy, your brain functions better, especially your memory and focus. Let's be real. Some mornings are harder than others. There are aches, there's worry. There's that temptation to just stay in bed and let the day come to you. But here's the truth. Every morning, your brain waits for a signal. It's listening. And when you give it rhythm, movement, stillness, and gentle stimulation, it responds with clarity. You don't need to chase youth. You don't need to become a productivity guru. You just need to give your brain the right welcome each morning. It doesn't have to be perfect, just consistent. Start small, sit up, breathe, stretch, walk, read, smile. Let your mind know it matters. Let it feel seen, because the brain you wake up with in your 60s isn't the same one you had at 40, but it's not broken. It's not fading. It's adapting. It's still brilliant, and it just wants your help to shine a little brighter each day. You step into the kitchen, maybe a little stiff, maybe not quite hungry yet, but it's time to feed your brain, not just your body, because by now you've probably felt it. Some meals leave you foggy, sleepy, maybe even forgetful. Others leave you sharper, lighter, clearer. That's no accident. Every bite you take is either helping your brain or dragging it down. The truth is, after 60, your brain doesn't bounce back from poor nutrition the way it used to. But here's the good news. The right foods don't just protect your brain, they can wake it up, restore energy, and even improve your memory and mood. So you open the fridge. What are you reaching for? Let's start simple. Water. Before coffee, before breakfast, pour yourself a tall glass of water. Overnight, your body dehydrates and your brain, made up of about 75% water, feels it first. Even mild dehydration can shrink your brain tissue temporarily. You don't want to start your day in a mental fog, and a glass of water clears that up faster than any pill. Now let's talk fats, but the good kind. Your brain loves fat, not the greasy, deep-fried kind, but the omega-3 rich kind that you find in things like salmon, walnuts, flaxseed, and even eggs. These fats are like brain fuel. They help protect the connections between your brain cells, and they've been shown to reduce your risk of memory loss as you age. Imagine this. You scramble 2 eggs, toss in some spinach, maybe a few tomatoes. That's a breakfast your brain thanks you for. Protein, healthy fats, and antioxidants all in one go. You sit down to eat it slowly, maybe at the table with a little sunlight on your shoulder. That's not just nourishment, it's a healing ritual. And speaking of antioxidants, your brain needs them. Blueberries, for instance, aren't just delicious. They've been called brain berries by some scientists because of their ability to protect the brain from oxidative stress. Oxidation is like rust for your neurons, and after 60, your brain becomes more vulnerable to it. But fruits like blueberries, strawberries, and oranges are like little shields, guarding you from cognitive wear and tear. But it's not just what you eat, it's how often you eat it. Big, heavy meals can actually slow blood flow to your brain. They leave you feeling drowsy and sluggish. But smaller, balanced meals, spread throughout the day, keep your energy steady and your mind alert. So maybe you try 3 modest meals and 2 small snacks. A few almonds here, a slice of apple there. It's about rhythm, not restriction. Let's not forget greens. Leafy greens like kale, arugula, and broccoli contain folate, vitamin K, and lutein, nutrients that have been linked to slower cognitive decline. You don't need to turn into a salad evangelist overnight, but adding a handful of greens to your lunch or dinner can make a real difference over time. And here's something most people overlook. Spices. Turmeric, in particular, contains curcumin, which has powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant benefits. A sprinkle here, a dash there, it adds flavor and protects your memory. Ginger helps with circulation. Cinnamon helps regulate blood sugar, which matters more to your brain than you might think. Now let's talk about sugar. You already know too much sugar isn't good, but did you know it can literally shrink your hippocampus? The part of your brain responsible for memory? That daily sweet tea, the pastries, the candies that sneak in during long afternoons, they're more than empty calories. They're slow sabotage. But here's the thing, you don't have to live without joy. Instead of ice cream, try frozen banana slices with a spoonful of almond butter. Instead of soda, try sparkling water with a splash of lemon or a few crushed berries. It's not about denial, it's about gentle swaps that honor your brain. Let's look at caffeine too. A little can sharpen your focus, but too much can leave you jittery, anxious, and dehydrated. If you're reaching for your third or fourth cup of coffee by noon, your brain might actually be suffering. 1 or 2 cups in the morning is often enough. Then switch to green tea or herbal infusions. They hydrate you while still offering a gentle mental boost. What about wine? Red wine in moderation has some antioxidants, yes, but alcohol overall slows brain function and disrupts sleep, which your brain desperately needs to stay sharp. If you drink, do so mindfully. A small glass with dinner maybe, not as a habit, but as a treat. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet in one day. Just start noticing. Notice how you feel after certain meals. Notice what gives you energy, what gives you headaches, what helps you remember things clearly. Your body speaks, and your brain is part of that conversation. If you live with someone, make meals together. Talk about what you're cooking. Try new recipes. That's not just nourishment, it's engagement. And that brings us to a quiet truth. How you eat matters as much as what you eat. Sit down, use a real plate, chew slowly, put on music, savor the experience. Your brain thrives on attention. When you eat while distracted, watching TV, scrolling your phone, you rob your brain of one of its favorite moments, the joy of focused experience. So tomorrow, when you open your pantry or fridge, ask yourself this: what would feed my brain today? Not what's easiest, not what's nostalgic, but what will help you remember your grandchild's laugh. Finish the book you've been meaning to read, or have a sharper conversation with your friend. Because the brain doesn't just run on willpower, it runs on fuel. Real, consistent, beautiful fuel. You deserve that every single day. You stand up from the kitchen table, your belly is full, your brain fed, but your joints creak, your knees resist, and your muscles feel like they've forgotten how to move. It's easy to say, I'm too old for exercise, but here's the truth. You don't move to get younger. You move to stay sharper. That's right. Movement isn't just for your heart, your bones, or your waistline. It's for your mind. Every time you walk, stretch, or even sway gently to music, your brain is waking up. It's creating new connections, strengthening old ones, and sweeping away the cobwebs of forgetfulness. Think of your brain like a garden. Movement is the water. Without it, things wilt. But with it, the flowers bloom again. Let's start with something simple. Walking, just 10 to 20 minutes a day, around the block in your garden, or even down the hallway if you need to. Each step pumps fresh oxygen to your brain. That oxygen fuels the hippocampus, the part of your brain that controls memory and learning. Research shows that regular walking can increase the size of this region even after age 60. Imagine that, growing brain power with each footstep. And it doesn't have to be power walking. You're not trying to win races. You're trying to stay mentally present. So walk at a pace that feels kind to your body. Swing your arms, breathe deep, look around, feel the world. Now picture yourself stretching. You reach your arms overhead, roll your shoulders, maybe bend gently side to side. These aren't exercises, they're reminders. Reminders to your brain that you're still here, still engaged, still commanding your space. Stretching improves blood flow, reduces stress, and even boosts dopamine, a brain chemical that lifts your mood and helps you focus. That's right, a 5-minute morning stretch can help you remember where you put your glasses or what day of the week it is. But let's go one step deeper, balance. After 60, balance can start to decline. You feel it when you get up too fast or step off a curb. And while that's a physical challenge, it's also a mental one. Practicing balance, standing on one leg while brushing your teeth, or doing a gentle yoga pose, strengthens the communication between your body and brain. You're literally sharpening the signals. Think of Tai Chi, slow, flowing, deliberate movements. It's been called meditation in motion, and for good reason. It improves balance, focus, coordination, and even reduces anxiety. You don't need a class. You can find a video or simply copy a few moves you remember. The important thing is this: move with attention. When you move mindfully, your brain becomes your dance partner. Let's talk about resistance. No, not the kind where your brain says, Ugh, not today. I mean resistance training, light weights, elastic bands, or even body weight movements like sitting and standing repeatedly from a chair. When you challenge your muscles, you release a hormone called IGF-1, which supports brain cell growth and repair. You don't need a gym, you just need persistence. 2 soup cans can become weights. A sturdy chair can become a workout bench. Lift slowly, lower slowly, breathe, smile. This isn't punishment, it's brain care. And here's a secret. Dancing is one of the best things you can do for your brain. Why? Because it's rhythm, coordination, movement, memory, and joy, all rolled into one. When you learn steps, remember sequences, and move to music, your brain lights up. It's like fireworks behind your forehead. So put on a favorite tune, one that makes you want to sway. Let your body lead and your brain follow. That's not just fun, that's therapy. Even just standing up more often helps. Sitting too long slows circulation, which dulls your thinking. So if you're watching TV, try standing up during commercials. March in place during a phone call. Wiggle your toes, flex your ankles. Let movement sneak into your day in little ways. Now maybe you've been told to take it easy. And of course, if you have health conditions, always listen to your doctor. But don't let caution turn into fear. The more you stop moving, the faster your brain slows down. You don't need to run, you don't need to jump. You just need to keep moving in a way that suits you. And the benefits? Clearer memory, better sleep, improved mood, sharper focus. Movement isn't just something your brain enjoys. It depends on it. You might say, it's too late for me, but it's not. One study showed that people in their 70s who began walking regularly improved their mental flexibility within weeks. Another found that seniors who danced weekly had a lower risk of dementia than those who walked. That's the power of engaged movement. And maybe the most important piece? Consistency. It's better to move 10 minutes a day than to exhaust yourself once a week. Create a rhythm, a daily promise. Your brain doesn't ask for marathons, it asks for attention. So tomorrow after breakfast, what if you stepped outside and walked to the mailbox, and then around the yard? What if you did 3 slow squats using your countertop? What if you raised your arms to the sky and whispered, I'm still here, I still move, I still think? Because your brain listens. Every move you make sends it a message. I'm alive, I'm learning, I'm not done yet. And maybe, just maybe, it smiles back. You've stretched, you've walked, you've fueled your body and brain. But here's something no one tells you. Movement alone isn't enough. After 60, your brain doesn't just need oxygen. It needs wonder. It needs curiosity. Because without it, your thoughts start circling the same dusty loops, like a record stuck on the same groove. Think about it. When's the last time you learned something new? Not just watched it, but tried it? When did you last feel challenged, puzzled, maybe even a little confused, in a good way? You see, the aging brain is not a dying brain. It's a changing brain. And one of its deepest cravings is novelty, newness. That doesn't mean you have to go skydiving. It means you invite your brain to stretch in unexpected ways. Because every time you try something unfamiliar, you're literally building new neural pathways, like paving fresh roads inside your mind. Let's say you pick up a pencil and sketch something, not because you're an artist, but because your brain has never seen your hand do that before. You're not just drawing, you're rewiring. Or maybe you open a book on a subject you know nothing about. Gardening in Japan, the history of jazz, basic Italian phrases. Suddenly, your mind isn't just wandering, it's growing. And guess what? Your brain loves a challenge when it's connected to joy. That's the difference between old-fashioned brain games and real cognitive engagement. Crosswords are great. Sudoku is fine. But what your brain really wants is a surprise. A problem it's never seen. A pattern it has to decode. A connection it has to create. So try this. Learn something that makes your eyebrows raise. Maybe you try a new recipe from a culture you've never tasted. You read the ingredients, mess up the spices, laugh at the mess. That's mental stimulation. Maybe you learn how to use a new app or tool, not because you have to, but because you want to. You fumble, you figure it out, and boom, your brain gets stronger. Curiosity doesn't have to be loud. It can be quiet and personal. It can be as small as picking up a musical instrument and strumming a few notes. It can be watching a documentary and jotting down 2 facts that surprised you. Or it can be as big as joining a local class, yes, even online, and meeting others who are learning too. And don't be afraid to feel frustrated. That slight irritation when you can't figure something out, that's your brain doing push-ups. That's the moment when the magic happens. When you wrestle with a new idea, your brain forms new connections, and those connections protect you from forgetfulness, from boredom, even from the early symptoms of cognitive decline. But curiosity doesn't just feed your intellect, it feeds your spirit. When you say, "I want to know more," you're reminding yourself and your brain that you're still curious about life, that you're still in it. Now let's talk about storytelling, not just listening to stories, telling them. Think of a memory, any memory, your first bike ride, a family trip, a moment that made you cry. Now try telling it to someone, a friend, a grandchild, even just write it down. The act of recalling, structuring, and sharing that story exercises multiple brain regions at once. Language, memory, emotion, imagination. And if you're feeling bold, write fiction. Make something up. Let your imagination walk into a room it's never entered before. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be good. It just has to be new. Here's a tip. If something makes you say, "I've never done that before," do it. Your brain will thank you. Not immediately, but slowly, steadily, you'll notice you're thinking faster, remembering more clearly, laughing more often. Even talking to new people is mental training. When you have a conversation, especially with someone younger or different from you, your brain has to adapt. It has to interpret tone, meaning, nuance. It's like a mental dance, and that dance is vital. Let's not forget creativity. Paint, building decorate, garden, rearrange your living room, cook something from scratch. All of these activities challenge your brain to imagine, to solve, to engage. And none of them require talent, only willingness. And you know what else boosts curiosity? Questions. Ask yourself one every day. Write it down. Why do birds sing at dawn? How does the brain store names? What did people eat 300 years ago? Then go find the answer. Not because you need it, but because your brain lights up when it's on a mission. And when you learn something new, teach it, share it. Teaching locks knowledge in place. Even if you're just telling a neighbor or a friend over tea, you're reinforcing that pathway in your brain. Remember, curiosity is not something you lose with age. It's something you forget to feed. But once you start again, it wakes up. It nudges you. It says, "Let's go exploring." And that's what keeps you sharp. Not perfection, not memorization, but exploration. So tomorrow, pick up a new book. Watch a foreign film. Take a different route on your walk. Ask your grandchild to show you how a smartphone works. Try a new recipe. Read aloud. Start a journal. Sing. Do something new. Because when you stay curious, you stay young. Not just in body, but in heart, in mind, in soul. You've moved. You've learned. You've fueled your body and sparked curiosity. But there's one more piece. And it's the one people often skip, the one your brain whispers for late at night or in a quiet afternoon. It's not a vitamin, not an exercise. It's connection. Because here's the truth. Without connection, your brain starts to dim, slowly, quietly, like a room where someone's been turning the lights down one by one. You know that feeling. You wake up and the house is still. You go hours without hearing another voice. Maybe you turn on the television for background noise, but it's not the same. That ache, that's not weakness. That's your brain asking for human touch, for laughter, for purpose. Loneliness is no small thing. In fact, chronic loneliness has the same cognitive impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases your risk of memory loss, depression, anxiety, and even dementia. Why? Because your brain isn't wired for silence. It's wired for stories, for listening, responding, laughing, reacting, belonging. But here's the hope. Even one meaningful conversation a day can make a difference. Just one. So who can you reach out to? A neighbor, a sibling, an old friend. You don't need a deep heart-to-heart every day. Sometimes all it takes is a 5-minute chat about the weather, or asking someone how their morning was, or sending a quick voice message instead of a text. Your brain perks up the moment you shift your focus to another person, and if you live alone, that doesn't mean you have to feel alone. There are dozens of ways to connect, on the phone, online, even at the corner store. Join a group, even if it's just virtual. A book club, a choir, a walking group. Volunteer at a local pantry or library. Host a game night, even if it's just cards and cookies. Because when you laugh together, or listen together, or create something together, your brain feels safe. It feels seen. And that sense of belonging activates one of the most powerful parts of your mind, emotional memory. That's what helps you recall the smell of your mother's cooking, the laugh of a childhood friend, the way your partner used to say your name. These are more than memories, they are anchors. And connecting with others keeps those anchors from drifting. But let's go one level deeper. Connection isn't just about people, it's about purpose. What gets you up in the morning? What small thing makes you feel needed? Maybe it's tending a plant, or caring for a pet, or praying for someone, or writing a letter. When your brain senses that your presence matters, it lights up. It finds direction. It calms the noise. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be yours. And when you share that purpose with someone, even if it's just telling a story from your youth, you pass along wisdom. And that wisdom is one of the greatest gifts you can offer to your children, your neighbors, to the world. Here's something powerful to remember. You are still someone's story. Maybe your grandchild will one day say, "My grandpa always made me feel smart," or "My aunt taught me how to make pancakes on Sunday." Those moments become memories in their brains, and that is connection that outlives you. Now think about how often you touch someone, a hug, a handshake, a pat on the back. These small gestures send signals to your brain that you are part of a tribe. They release oxytocin, a chemical that reduces stress, improves sleep, and even sharpens recall. So don't be shy. Hug longer, hold hands, sit shoulder to shoulder. Let your nervous system relax into belonging. Even faith, community, and shared ritual help. Lighting a candle, sitting in silence with others, singing in harmony. These things wrap your brain in meaning. And the older we get, the more the brain thrives, not just on facts, but on faith. Faith in something greater. Faith in connection. Faith that your presence still matters. Now you might be thinking, "But I'm tired," or "It's hard to make new friends at this age." Yes, it is. But the human brain never loses its ability to build new relationships, even at 80, even at 90. And sometimes that first connection starts with you. You call first, you write first, you smile first. And when you do, your brain lifts its head. It says, "Oh, we're still in this. We're still needed. We're still loved." Because the scariest thing for the brain isn't forgetting, it's being forgotten. So make a ritual of connection, a daily check-in, a weekly coffee, a handwritten note, a shared playlist, a family group chat. These aren't trivial, they're lifelines. And each one strengthens the neural pathways that support memory, attention, and even decision-making. And finally, forgive. Carrying emotional weight ages your brain. Resentment, bitterness, unspoken grief. These cloud your clarity. But when you let go, when you reach out, apologize, or simply release the hurt, you give your mind space to heal. So yes, move your body, feed it well, stay curious, but above all, stay connected. Your brain doesn't just want that, it needs it. Because no matter your age, you are not alone. You're part of something bigger. And every time you show up, honestly, warmly, gently, your brain says, "Thank you." Now take a breath. Close your eyes if you like. Let the hum of the day soften just a bit. Feel the space around you, the chair beneath you, the air gently touching your skin. You've walked through a journey tonight, not of the body, but of the mind. You've remembered what it feels like to wake up fully, to nourish yourself with intention, to move because you can't, to learn something new, to open your arms again to the people and purpose waiting on the other side of the door. This isn't just knowledge, it's your invitation, not to rush, not to perform, but to gently return to yourself. Because after 60, the brain doesn't vanish. It deepens, it learns differently, it listens more. It needs less noise and more truth. And the truth is, you are still capable of growth, of lightness, of new beginnings. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to thrive. So let this be your rhythm. Morning breath, nourishing bites, 10 steps forward, a curious thought, a conversation that warms the heart. And then, in the quiet moments, let gratitude wash over you for this body, this day, this beautiful, capable, changing mind of yours. You are still writing your story, and your brain, it's listening.